Too loud. Mic check, mic check.
Sometimes too loud. Is it echo?
Mic check, mic check.
Oh, okay.
Good, good. I'm here early today. I usually stay probably half hour before, but this is the first they opened the door this early, so that's good. Yes.
Good morning. Welcome to the Board of Public Works meeting of Friday, August 16, 2024. If you are joining us via Zoom and would like to give public comment on any agendized item or general public comment, please press star 9 to raise your hand and star 6 to unmute, and I will take your requests down, and the meeting will officially start shortly. If you are joining us in person, you may grab a public comment card in the back of the room and fill that up for specific agendized item or general public comment and bring that up to me. Thank you. Speaker on Zoom under Yvonne Best, can you let me know which item you would like to speak on?
Yeah, public comment and item number 1 and 3.
Thank you. Speaker under Mona M, can you let me know which item you want to speak on?
Good morning. Public comment and item number 3, please.
Thank you, Mona. Item, caller under Audit LA, can you let me know which item you'd like to speak on? Audit LA,
Yes, good morning. I would like to speak on public comment and on all agenda items, please. Thank you.
thank you.
Good morning, and welcome to the regular meeting of the Board of Public Works, Friday, August 16th, 2024. Ms. Cole, will you please establish roll call and quorum?
Yes, good morning, Board. This is Tansy Cole, Senior Management Analyst with the Board of Public Works, establishing roll call and quorum. President Pro Tem Davis is here, Commissioner Corsan and Commissioner Reyes, and we have a quorum. Vice President Villegas is out on approved leave, and we are also joined by City Attorney Darrell Field. We do have general public comment. Dr.
Sure.
Davis?
Sure, we will call the first general public comment speaker at this time.
Okay, let me. Speaker Yvonne Bess, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you. I'm going to try to talk fast. The last meeting, you had a packet of material regarding the Sepulveda road improvement. And in that packet was a clear and concise terms and conditions regarding the labor laws and requirements of working on public streets. I am bringing to your attention that all of those laws are in violation in regards to any of the work being done at Scientology's L. Ron Hubbard Street, and their sidewalks and the easements and the reported by the employees doing the work, the subterranean work that is underneath the sidewalk and easement, at least that far in into the public area, and that work was evidenced by a half roll-off full of debris and soil. In addition, there is a noticeable crack on the two towers that are hexagon shaped at 1328, or right behind 1328 Catalina. After the recent earthquakes yesterday, they were making repairs to that. I Google searched that to see if that was pre-existing, and it does look from my eye that goes back to damage that began in 2009. And what fell off of the building looked like a previous patch, and the crack is all the way from the bottom to the top now. I'm concerned about the safety
Thank you,
of the
Yvonne.
Scientologists.
Caller Mona, you have 2 minutes to speak on general public comment.
Thank you, and I'd like to further what the first caller was talking about, because that's exactly every week I've been coming in to talk about the barricades along L. Ron Hubbard Way, north and south, to where a fire lane is non-existent. Somebody signed off on that safety plan, and we seen from this earthquake that something happened. There's been damage to the building, and if there would have been significant injuries or a need to get a fire truck down that road, it would not be possible. And this is really silly that the Board of Public Works and the City Council and the Mayor's office is not taking this serious.
It's my fault. Sorry, caller Mona. If you can return the call, I don't see you on here anymore. We'll move on to Audit LA. You have 2 minutes.
Yes, good morning. I too am very concerned about this massive crack on their building. It is in the same, not far from the area where it was reported that there was such an exorbitant amount of water unleashed on an encampment to where I have told you that it's sinking, the sidewalk is sinking. And now you have a crack, even though, and it's getting worse since this earthquake, or is it from the water, or is it from the underground, construction they're doing, and I can't find permits for any of it. I don't see any sign off or anything where any city personnel is involved with these processes. And I've been coming here begging you. This is not about whether or not Scientology has a right to be there. Of course they do. But they do not have a right to break the law or codes. And why aren't you listening? I mean, like, I don't get it. I'm at the point now where I'm ready to see if the media is willing to listen. I'm going to city council. I'm seeing if, they don't seem to be listening. I'm willing to go to the federal agencies at this point to see if they will listen. Because if that tower, if that breaks down, it could have a serious, a collapse of a building, of a 4-story building, and you have a whole street that is blocked and blockaded because you guys just refuse to enforce the law. You're not creating new laws. You just have to enforce your own permits. The own permits that you guys give out, it has the rules, okay? And you are willingly overlooking those rules for Scientology. And I would love to know why. I want to know why you're overlooking it for them at the detriment of their own people. It's their people that will that's going to get harmed. If that crack goes to a
Thank you, Audit LA. Mona, you have 65 seconds to continue.
Thank you. I'm not too sure where I got cut off. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not too sure where I was at, but I was talking about the safety, about the blockaded road on L. Ron Hubbard Way, and how the city attorneys, the Board of Public Works, and the city council, the mayor's office really needs to have an eye on this, because somebody's going to be hurt if something happens. And you guys just aren't listening. We're tired of coming to you. And there's one way to get rid of us. Listen.
Thank you. One more, Dr. Davis. Caller Taylor, would you like to speak on general public comment? Caller Taylor? That concludes public comment, general public comment.
Thank you so much. May I have a second to my motion to approve the minutes from the meeting of August the 2nd, 2024?
Second.
Okay, the motion has been appropriately second. Can you tabulate the vote?
Yes, we'll tabulate the vote to adopt the minutes, starting with you, President Pro Tem Davis,
Davis, aye.
Commissioner Corsan,
Aye.
and Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
All ayes, and the item is unanimously adopted.
Thank you. And next, we have a presentation of a certificate of recognition for Karina Casales, Management Analyst from the Office of Community Beautification. Paul Rox. Welcome.
Good morning. Paul Roch, Director of the Office of Community Beautification. This is a somewhat bittersweet moment for us because one of our valuable employees, Karina Casillas, is advancing and moving on in her city career. So good for her. She's going to be transferring to the Department of Water and Power. But sad for OCB because we are losing a very valuable employee. She's a 10-year city employee, the last 6 with our office. She's been the community coordinator for council districts 1, 4, and 13, coordinating numerous neighborhood cleanup events and beautification projects in those districts. She's managed the contracts of several of our different nonprofit community-based organizations. She has worked on several of the beautification conferences that we have held over the past years, including taking the lead on several of the virtual conferences that we had to do during those COVID years when we could not have them in person. And she did a great job on all of that. Karina has attended several KAB, Keep America Beautiful, national conferences in Memphis and Washington, D.C., and where else? Other cities around and stuff, and represented the city of Los Angeles and Keep LA Beautiful at those conferences. Karina has served as the primary coordinator for our rain barrel distribution and giveaway events that we have held over the past several years. She has also recently developed an electronic or virtual warehouse order form that we just implemented at the beginning of July. So now we've moved from a paper system of having to fill out papers and either email those or fax them to the warehouse staff. Everything is done by a Google Sheets document, and Karina pretty much single-handedly put all that together. And we've been getting good comments from the public about that, from our warehouse staff about that, and from OCB staff about that. Karina also oversaw the Keep Los Angeles Beautiful Community Beautification Grant projects that we've had in the last 3 or 4 years. I think we've given out about 15 grants each of the last 3 years, and she's worked diligently with those groups and helped kind of walk them through the grant process, worked with the mayor's office on the Angelino cards so that we were able to pay the grant recipients that way, and just did a fantastic job on all of those different projects. Karina has also served on the Board of Public Works Grant Task Force, on the Public Works Outreach Committee, and also oversees the various OCB social media platforms, as well as providing bilingual translation services both for OCB and for the Board of Public Works in general. So again, congratulations to Karina as she advances in her city career. It's going to be a little rough spot for OCB staff to pick up all those different things she did. But I do want to just finally conclude before I know Jerry has a couple words he wants to say as well. We went out to a luncheon yesterday for Karina with the OCB staff, and gave her a bouquet of flowers with a bunch of sunflowers in them. And everyone agreed that the sunflowers fit Karina's personality 100%. She just brings that smile and that radiance to the office every time she comes in. So Karina, once again, congratulations. I'm going to turn it over to Jerry for a few words.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jerry Valido, Assistant Director with the Office of Community Beautification. I just want to really quickly piggyback on the wonderful accolades that our Director Paul Raj mentioned about our teammate Karina Casillas. I personally have been able to benefit from her professionalism, her attention to detail, her efficiency, and her passion that she brings to any assignment that she's been given over the course of the last 5.5 years that she's been with OCB. As Paul mentioned, she has contributed a lot to our office and I've been able to work with her in regards to the KLOB grant program, placing these wonderful community beautification projects out on the public right of way. She's been working very diligently the last 3 months on this new online ordering system. And it's just been a real pleasure to work with you. It's been, I've been kind of spoiled because I've come to rely on her for a lot of things when I'm out of the office. So I just want to wish you congratulations on this next step on your city career, and we look for nothing but great things to happen in the years to come.
Right.
So before I turn it over to you, Karina, very quickly, on behalf of the Board of Public Works, and it's signed by all 5 of the commissioners, for over 5 years of service with the Board of Public Works Office of Community Beautification, providing exceptional customer service while working on numerous projects such as Keep LA Beautiful, rain barrel giveaways, grants, neighborhood cleanups, social media, and contract administration. and always providing those services with a positive outlook, cheerful disposition, and a smile. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks again, Paul, Jerry. Let's see. I did want to take this opportunity to express my appreciation of everyone that I've met with the Board of Public Works. It really has been an honor and a pleasure to work with each and so many of you throughout the past years with the board. OCB really does hold a special place in my heart overall from the 10 years and counting with the city. I am leaving with immense gratitude for the opportunity to work alongside this team to make a positive impact on our communities. I am proud of the work that we have accomplished together and thank everyone for their support, collaboration, and friendship. I'm sure our paths will cross again. In the meantime, I will continue serving our city through the Department of Public Works. Thank you.
Karina, I want to, on behalf of the board, to say to you, we really appreciate the hard work that you have put in for a decade here at the Department of Public Works, and it's obvious that you are dedicated and committed, and we are very also happy for you that you have been rewarded for your hard work and that you will be still in the city of Los Angeles doing work in another area of our organization. I'd like to ask Commissioner Carson if he has any remarks, followed by Commissioner Reyes.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. Karina, congratulations. These are always bittersweet. Very happy that you get to move on. Your next position pays a lot better, probably better hours. But this is going to be the best colleagues you've ever had. And I'm going to stick a flag in the mud and say that we are the best colleagues you ever had. It's been wonderful to see you around the halls. I know I have access to some spreadsheet that we have that tabulates all of the nonprofits, CBOs that we partner with at OCB. And it's great to see your name. It's going to be sad to see your name go because it's one less person who's been doing a stellar job of making sure that we are managing our contracts perfectly and getting not just our CBOs paid, but getting the services out there. And I think, where you go next, you're going to take that with you, and they're going to gain that asset and value that you bring. And as a city resident, I'm happy that you're staying with the city in a different capacity, but here in Public Works, I'm a little sad to see you go, but I think, congratulations. And Dr. Davis, you left out the part she's a Trojan like yourself.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
She is the only
Double
Trojan on that side of
congratulations.
OCB. So
Oh, wow.
they need to find a new Trojan to fit in over there. So hopefully
All
you've
right.
recruited someone.
Yes.
We got to balance the scale. So congratulations, Karina.
Thank you. Commissioner Reyes.
Just want to echo what my colleagues on the board have just said. I'm in awe of all your accomplishments, and no wonder LADWP wants to steal you from us, right? But I know, you're still within the city family, and I am always honored and proud of our young folks who are going to move up in their career and will continue working at different fields and for advancement. And that, I think, you epitomize, that you're a model for that you will go on and your next chapter, your next adventure. Some folks that I know are always risk averse, moving from one department to another. Don't be. I think you are taking a really good step there. And there are lots of other promotional opportunities in the near future. With your work ethic and your dedication and support, I believe you will be very successful. And with that, I want to thank you. I worked with you on the AAPI Community Day of Service. You made it really easy for us on the spreadsheets and the list of people that we're working with, because that is such a big annual event during the month of May. So Karina, thank you so much. We're very grateful. We appreciate all you do. And don't forget us. who knows, one day you're going to come back on a promotion here at the Department of Public Works, and we will welcome you with open arms. Thanks.
Great.
Congrats.
Paul, do we have a camera to take a picture? If so, we'll do a picture with the Board of Public Works here to my left, and we will recess momentarily and be right back. We will return soon after the
Okay.
picture.
Thank you.
Give you a picture with your Public Works family. Okay. Thank you, and we will proceed to item 1 on the board agenda. Revised Task Order Solicitation TOS number 75, Geosyntec Consultants Incorporated, recommending the board, 1, authorize the city engineer to issue a revision of the task for TOS number 75 to Geosyntec Consultants Incorporated, increasing the budget authority from $542,296 to $765,296, including contingency for pre-design, design, bid, and award support and design services during construction of the East 6th Street Green Infrastructure Corridor Project, WOS 33 WE6GC C 129-657. With that, we have Nick Tran. Do we have, we'll do public comments.
2 public comments, Dr. Davis.
Do we
Would
do
you
it
like to take those first, or?
Well, let's do it first.
Okay.
Thank you, Nick, for holding.
Caller under Audit LA, this is item number 1. You have 2 minutes.
Commissioner, I was so hopeful that you were going to allow him to speak first and let us do public comment after, because
We
it's
can do that.
much
That doesn't.
more helpful. I am on topic because I'm talking about this person and this agenda item. It's just saying, as a public person, it's really more helpful if we could hear what they have to say in case we have any, in case they answer our questions or concerns, or we have additional questions or concerns that we can bring up. It's really prudent. So please, whoever, if you're going to be in charge now, please do it that way. That being said, I am against raising this amount of money. Now, if I didn't have the ability to go through 3,000 pages of your packet overnight, I hope you all have. I hope you have read each and every one of those 3,000 pages in your packet. So I am not as educated on this as you are. But my concern is, just as a tax-paying resident, that we have enough, like, people need to live within their budgets. And so does government. And so do developers and whoever's coming before your board. We need to learn how to live within the budgets. The people are told this is how much it's going to cost. But then they come and like, oh, little bit, oh, we need this more. We need more. We need more. So whatever we start at and we agree at, it ends up being way higher. And That's got to stop. The fleecing of the city resources, of the taxpayer resources, needs to stop. Now, that on Wednesday, you guys forgave a $9,000 fine. That money could have paid for this. You know, so I would say suggest, if you, because I know you're going to rubber stamp this and just give it to them, but I wish you would take off at least that $9,000, because that money should have come into the city to help pay for any increases. And we just, as the people, we're just tired of the waste, tired of the backdoor, you know, these increases. And I'm not saying that this gentleman's doing anything wrong. It may be, in his mind, a
Thank
legitimate
you.
need.
Is that the only public?
Caller Yvonne Bess, you have 2 minutes to speak on item number 1.
I won't run out on this one. I would like to acknowledge that the disposal for animal waste or pet waste is included in the planning of this. I do read the entire packet. My concern is that humans have the same problem. Your designs do not include any sort of human facilities so that people are not defecating and urinating on the streets. Please include these designs in future planning. Thank you.
That concludes callers on item number 1.
Is that Mr. Nick Trance, right?
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Brian Powell. I'm a Senior Civil Engineer with the Clean Water Division from the Bureau of Engineering. Engineering is here today to request that the Board authorize a revision to Task Order Solicitation Number 75 to Geosyntech Consultants for an increase in the budget authority from $542,296 to $765,296, including contingency for pre-design, design, bid and award, and design support services during construction. Just to provide a bit of background on the project, back on April 5th of 2023, this board awarded Task Order Solicitation Number 75 to Geosyntech for pre-design, design, bid and award, and design services during construction for the East 6th Street Green Infrastructure Corridor project. This is a Measure W project that engineering is delivering with the Bureau of Sanitation. The project is located in Council District 14 along East 6th Street between St. Louis Street and Matthew Street. The primary goal of the project is to improve the water quality of runoff, capture and infiltrate stormwater, reduce localized flooding, and provide neighborhood greening enhancements. The project proposes to construct 12 biofiltration planters, 37 new street trees, including educational signage and a pilot curb extension at the intersection of East 6th Street and Soto Street. The current construction cost estimate is $3,480,000, and the design is 100% complete, and we're preparing the bid package to be advertised for construction bids. The purpose of this task order revision is to increase the budget by $223,000, of which $205,000 will be set aside for contingency. The original contingency awarded back in April with the original board report was $49,000. And that has been expended due to design changes requested by the Bureau of Engineering as well as our client, Bureau of Sanitation. Additional contingency is needed at this point to implement the following scope changes and additional work. The Los Angeles Department of Transportation provided review comments on the design of our proposed pilot curb extensions, and this required additional plan sheets to detail the signal modifications. An additional round of design review comments were needed, which was above and beyond the amount of design review comments included in the original task order solicitation. Therefore, engineering and Geosyntech negotiated a proposal for $17,717 to address these additional design comments. This fee is included in the revised base task in this board report. The budget for the bid and award task is anticipated that we will need to increase that to address design comments received after 100% designs were completed. These design changes will be incorporated during the addenda phase of the bid and award phase. And lastly, the budget for design support during construction is anticipated to increase and to include a greater quantity of RFIs, requests for information, submittals, plan clarifications, change orders, and weekly meetings. Therefore, engineering is requesting authority to revise task order solicitation number 75 by increasing the budget authority by $223,000. So that's going from $542,296 to $765,296. This includes the $205,000 in contingency. The requested budget increase will be funded by the Measure W municipal program, and our partners at LA Sanitation have reviewed and concur with this request. I could quickly review the business inclusion program. GeoSyntech is meeting or exceeding 4 out of the 5 categories. They are exceeding the minority business enterprise percentage with 19.4%. They are exceeding the women-owned business enterprise with 12.92%. They are meeting or exceeding the small business enterprise requirement for 29.97%. And the emerging business enterprise percentage with 12.92%. They are just short of the disabled veteran business enterprise percentage of the city's goal is 3%. They are meeting, they are at 2.36%. That concludes my report, and I'm ready to answer any questions.
Mr. Powell, you said that the additional funding in this motion is approximately $200 and something thousand because of the change of scope of the work. Is that correct?
So the changes that I outlined were they were paid for using the original contingency that was included in the board report from April of 2023, and that was about $49,000. But now that we're completed with our designs and looking forward to construction, we would like to increase the contingency so that we're ready to support construction when that moves forward.
Great. Any other inquiries from members of the commission? Commissioner Reyes.
Do you anticipate more design changes along the way? And are the additional city comments that you receive that was required, or was that driven because of items that were found out during the scoping of the work?
So the first question, will there be more design changes? There are always design changes even during construction, but those can normally be picked up during construction. So as long as they're not significant changes, that shouldn't be an issue. But the changes that I outlined were all incorporated into the 100% plans. And so those plans are at this point complete, and they're ready to move forward with bid and award or into construction. Most of the changes were owner requested design changes, which would be the Bureau of Sanitation.
And for now, based on what you're asking for the board to increase the amount, are those design changes sufficient for the period, and do you anticipate more changes?
No, we do not anticipate any more changes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll tabulate the vote to adopt item number 1, beginning with you, President Pro Tem Davis,
Davis, aye.
Commissioner Corsan,
Aye.
and Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
All ayes, and the item is unanimously adopted and carries forthwith.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see.
We have no speakers for item number 2, Dr.
Sure.
Davis.
Thank you. We have two public comments?
No public comment, I mean.
Oh, no public comment.
Sorry about that.
Okay, sure. Let's see, we have Iona June representing. Item number 2, requests for authority, execute letter of agreement between the City of Los Angeles and Los Angeles County Metropolitan Transportation Authority, recommending the board, 1, authorize the Bureau of Street Services to execute the LOA with Los Angeles County Metropolitan Transportation Authority for an amount not to exceed $218,200 for the reimbursement to construct 2 bus pads. And 2, authorize the president or two members of the Board of Public Works to execute the LOA. Ms. Iona June. Thank you.
Good morning. Can you hear me well? President Pro Temp Davis, members of the board, my name is Ioana Jun. I'm working with Bureau of Street Services, also known as Street LA. We are seeking the board authority to execute the letter of agreement with Los Angeles Metropolitan Authority, or short LACMA, and also known as Metro. This letter of agreement refers to the execution of two concrete bus, concrete pads for the bus stations in behalf of Metro, and is for reimbursement of up to $200,000, $218,000, sorry, 200. So the subject of this letter of agreement, the project is a Metro project, and the name is G-Line BRT improvement projects. And part of that improvement is basically including also two grade separation, or basically overcrossings at two locations on the G-Line busway. One is at Van Nuys and the other one is Sepulveda. The one that we are addressing in this letter of agreement is the station at Van Nuys. While for this construction, the Metro will close that station. It's going to be closed around 2 years, and they will reroute the articulated buses that are operating now on the busway on City Street, a parallel street, which is Oxnard. And the station, both ways, westbound, eastbound, will be located at the intersection of Oxnard with Van Nuys. Metro reached out to Streets LA for this situation where they will need to provide basically two new bus pads at these westbound, eastbound bus stations. Streets LA agreed to construct these bus pads for Metro up to $218,200, which just want to mention doesn't include any unforeseen utility conflicts, which might bring additional costs with, and Metro agreed to cover those possible costs. I would like to mention also that our city attorney office, they reviewed our letter of agreement and concurred with our recommendations. We are really glad to be able to do this, to assist Metro with this construction, but also finding this agreement beneficial for both sides. This concludes my report and ready to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Davis, before you do a motion, I apologize that there is one public speaker.
Sure. We can proceed with the public speaker.
Okay. Audit LA, you have 2 minutes to speak on item number 2.
Thank you, Ms. Cole. I was getting concerned there. I am all for fixing the Van Nuys bus benches. I use that stop often. The only thing that I'm concerned about is that, like, it's confusing as to who's paying and who's receiving the money. But so I am just asking that, like I always am asking, that you guys just really scrutinize to make sure everything is done correctly, make sure everything is executed correctly, make sure everything's in the best interest of the taxpayers. There needs to be a lot of work done, on the bus lines and the metro, and and I'm all for seeing the city and the county come together. But my concern here is that, the county or metro trying to get the best of, or the city, and and getting what they want at our expense. And that's where you guys are the brains that understand all these things. This is your purview. So obviously I have to defer to you, but I am just here to remind you that you serve the city and that you please make sure that the city, their interest and our interest is first and foremost in your minds. Yes, we are residents of the county per se, but this is the city and this is our funds going to all this stuff. So I am just asking you to be very diligent and very mindful. And thank you, for the previous where you start asking questions. I love that. I hope to see more of that with new leadership here. Please continue to asking the questions. And thank you for, in a way, it was great that I get to speak after they speak because it was really helpful because she did and the speaker did answer some of my, some things that I was
Thank you,
questioning.
Adedele.
Okay, thank you. I see no inquiries being requested on behalf of the commissioners, so may I have a motion to accept item two? Motion's been made by Commissioner Kassan, seconded by Commissioner Reyes. Can we tabulate the vote?
We'll tabulate the vote to adopt item number 2, beginning with you, President Pro Tem Davis,
Davis, aye.
Commissioner Corsan,
Aye.
and Commissioner Reyes. All ayes, and the item is unanimously adopted and carries forthwith.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 3, contract amendment number 1, 26 pre-qualified on-call civil engineering services contracts. Recommending the board, 1, approve and forward this report with transmittals to the mayor and city council requesting the following. A, approve amendment number 1, increasing the total contract term from 5 years up to 10 years to each of the contracts between the City of Los Angeles and the following 26 pre-qualified on-call civil engineering services contracts. AECOM Technical Services Incorporated, LBE, Local Business Enterprise, C-134-300, Alta Planning Plus Designs Incorporated, Other Business Enterprises, OBE, C-134314, Erupt North American Limited, OBE, C-134-310, Atkins North America Incorporated, and OBE, C-134-311, Canon Services Limited, OBE, C-134-299, Cordoba Corporation, Minority Businesses Enterprise, MBE, LBE, Local Business Enterprise, Male Hispanic American, C-134-298, CWE Incorporated, MWE, MH, C-134-303, David Evans and Associates Incorporated, and OBE, C-134-276, DR Consultants and Designers Incorporated, Minority Business Enterprise, Women Business Enterprise, WBE Female, C-134-272, EXP U.S. Services Incorporated, OBE, C-134-271, Gentex Consultants, Local Business Enterprise, C-134-277, GHD Incorporated, OBE, C-134-274, Harrison Associates and OBE, C-134-273, HDR Engineering Incorporated and OBE, C-134-275, HNTB Corporation, Local Business Enterprise, C-134-304, Hemley, Horn and Associates and OBE, C-134-313, KPFF Consulting Engineers Incorporation, OBE, C-134-312, Mars Services Incorporated, MBE, WBE Small Business Enterprises, SBE, Female Asian Pacific American, APA, C-134-302, MGE Engineering Incorporation, MBE, MAPA, C-134-305, Michael Baker International Incorporation, OBE, C-134-301, Pacific Rim Engineering Incorporation, MBE, LBE, MAPA, C-134-268, SOMAS, LBE, C-134-269, STV Incorporation, LBE C-134-267, Tetra Tech Incorporation, an OBE C-134-266, TRC Solutions Incorporation, an OBE C-134-270, Wagner Engineering and Survey Incorporation, WBE, LBE, Female Caucasian, C-134-265. B, authorize the president or two members of the board to execute amendment number 1 for each of the civil engineering services contracts. And with that, we have, is it Noor Malhas?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah,
for being here early as well.
Thank you for stating all of this. Good morning. I'm President Pro Tem Davis, Commissioner Corson, and Commissioner Reyes. So my name is Noor Malhas. I'm Street Improvement Division of the Bureau of Engineering. On August 30th, 2019, the board approved the pre-qualified on-call civil engineering services contract list of 26 consultants to provide civil engineering services for various projects, and is set to expire October 22nd, 2024. Each contract was executed on October 23, 2019 for that 5-year term. The BOE currently utilizes the pre-qualified on-call list for as-needed design and construction support services, as well as other various civil engineering services. And these include, but not limited to, engineering design, right-of-way engineering, utility engineering, utility coordination, environmental documentation, value engineering, cost estimating, project management, staff augmentation, drafting, and other related services. BOE is proposing to amend the contract to extend the term for an additional 5 years to an expiration date of now October 22nd, 2029, to allow opportunities for all consultants on the current list to participate in the current task orders, future task orders, as well as complete existing task orders, and to provide time to establish the next round of contracts. Besides amending this contract for additional 5 years, the proposed amendment includes relevant policies that were adopted after the original execution of the contracts, including COVID-19 policies, personnel updates, ways for clarification on compensation, as well as navigating through reporting and other contract provisions. Business Inclusion Program. So these contracts are subject to the anticipated business inclusion program of the MEB, WEB, SBE, DVB, OBE, and emerging business enterprises, and they have their stipulated anticipated levels. Since the execution of the contracts, BOE utilized 12 out of the 26 consultants with 19 task order solicitations that were issued. And within this report, you'll see a majority of these tables. This long report consists of tables, and it reflects the list of BIP subconsultants and their utilization for each task order. So table 1 reflects the invoices to date, which reflects also the subs invoiced to date, as well as their utilization level percentage. And the table 2 reflects the pledged amounts of the task order per each firm, and that has their percentage as well. And the invoice dates we cut it off October of 2023. Within these contracts too, there's compliance with city and board policies. They have to comply with various ordinances and other policies and non-discrimination ordinances as outlined in this report. And failure to comply with these can deem their contract non-responsive. They're also subject to contractor performance evaluation, subject to contractor responsibility ordinance, and the city attorney has reviewed these proposed amendments, and they have been approved. In terms of funding, there's no impact to the general fund, as each task order will have funding that is stipulated and taken from each of the projects that are used. This concludes my report. I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Sure. I wanted to ask in terms of this particular motion and our past practices, have we in the past had up to 10 years for the pre-qualified on-call list for civil engineers services contracts?
Yeah, that is correct. We've had, the highest I've seen personally is 10 years, and we have extended it. So 10 years we've had before on other lists that we've
So
had for
this one
engineering.
is currently 5 years, though, is that correct?
That is correct.
And we made the 5-year limit in the past to create an opportunity to have more choices to select from future civil engineering firms to do the work. Is that correct?
That is correct.
How do we impact that thinking in terms of now expanding it to 10 years? I'm trying to reconcile how we are able to accommodate the market of civil engineers that might be interested in doing work with the city of Los Angeles, given our reach, versus locking in 10 years. And I'm trying to understand if the expansion to 10 years is necessary, or was the practice of 5 years sufficient?
Well, I think the main reason why a lot of these contracts that we've seen, whether it's architectural or civil or bridge, we do the extension for another 5 years for a total of 10 years, is so current consultants that we're working with, because these project durations are so long,
Sure.
we don't have to cut it off and we can consistently work with them. Now, of course, after 10 years, that's when there's that maximum where we issue the statement of qualifications again, and many consultants list upwards of 300 of them list, and then we shortlist it to a certain number, and then we go through that process. If there is an instance where some consultants are not performing, of course, we will not extend their contract. So there's also, at the end of this term, we also look at all the different criteria that are mentioned here, such as the responsibility ordinance, the contractor performance evaluation, and their other performance as well. The
Sure.
business inclusion. And if
Sure.
they're all in compliance, then we will retain them,
Sure.
and then we do that. So, but in terms of, to answer your other question, how do we make sure we get the newest talent or more people that are up and coming firms? That's where we encourage all of those. If when the contract expires and we're going to issue another statement of qualifications, we make sure that these businesses know about our business assistance virtual network, and now it's called RAM, where they
Yes.
upload all their
Yes.
information. And we try to do outreach as much as we can. I haven't been part of that particular process. I've done outreach when it comes to construction, if we're at a standstill where we're getting the same contractors over and over, or sometimes we only get one bid for construction. I've done outreach to different contractors. But for this process, we definitely do, other departments do this outreach to make sure everyone is familiar and aware
Sure.
of this list.
So the up to 10% gives you the flexibility that it does not necessarily on an individual basis with every individual services contract have to in fact be 10. It could be a lesser amount. Is that correct?
It could be a lesser amount if we decide that some of these consultants we will not move forward with. We
Correct.
can remove them.
And then secondly, you mentioned in your report and presentation that you would look at inclusion as well, because each of the selected engineering services contract on the pre-qualified list have a understanding of our practice of inclusion, which would create opportunities for those other civil engineering contractors who are not a part of the pre-qualified list still to have an opportunity for subcontracting. Is that correct?
That is correct. So if there is an opportunity, so as these contracts get established, you have the prime contractors, consultants, which you just mentioned here, these 26 on the first page, they have their own list of sub-consultants. And if there is a need to add a sub-consultant for various reasons, whether there's added scope or you want to replace, that's when they can start utilizing they can change their their business inclusion program to add more of the minority business enterprises or women business enterprises. And we always encourage, when we receive bids, proposals for task orders, that they meet those anticipated levels of the 18, 4, 25, 3, and 8 for those designations respectively. And that's part of our criteria for even evaluating the task orders. If we get multiple proposals for each task order during the duration of this list, and we see that some consultants are only having, it's only them, which are OBEs, and they have very little of the designations, the MEB, WEB, SPE, then we don't choose them because that's part of our criteria.
Did we aim to be thoughtful about inclusion even in the list of the 26 pre-qualified? In other words, did we aim to be inclusive of small businesses, of women-owned businesses, of minority-owned businesses when we put together the local businesses, when we put together the pre-qualified on-call lists before us?
Yes, we did. The original one that was in 2019 that was established, and during that process, there was that evaluation criteria where we looked at inclusion, business inclusion program, and my understanding is that some of these firms did not make that short list because of various reasons, including that.
Sure. Great. All right. Any other questions from commissioners? Commissioner Reyes.
Yeah, just piggybacking on what you said about the business inclusion.
Yeah.
You know, we've had problems with substitution of sub-consultants before. My reminder to you guys is that there is a process, right, for additional sub-consultants to be added. I think the most important is the substitution of any sub-consultant requires approval from our board. So I just want to make sure that the public knows that there is indeed a process. If we want to be more inclusive, we go through that process so that the board remains the approving authority if there is any substitution. So then we're also aware of how the business inclusion program works for us.
Great.
Yeah, thank you. That is correct.
Thank you.
Okay.
We have speakers on,
Sure.
I'm sorry, not speakers.
Yes.
Public comment.
Public
Thank you.
comment. There are still
Three public
speakers.
comment. When you're ready, Dr. Davis.
Yes, we are ready. We're ready for the public comment on the item.
Speaker under Mona, you're welcome to speak on this item. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. First of all, commending you for having the speaker first and the questions first, because you know what? You answered 99.9% of my questions in my public comment. Thank you for having the 5-year extension to the contracts. That would be a wonderful thing. My question was, is there a way for a WBE, a DBE, or a DV business to be included in the next 5 years, or is this a closed list? So thank you for letting me know that there is an inclusion process for that. And that really was my question. So thank you very much. I concede back my time.
Another speaker, Audit LA, you have 2 minutes.
Yes, I love I just want to say thank you, sir. I'm kind of like speechless, as you can tell, which doesn't happen often. First of all, you read this agenda item into the record first, then you had the presenter speak, then you're taking public comment. As a parliamentarian, Robert's Rules enthusiast, I salute you. Thank you. I digress a little bit from the previous speaker. I am not for extending the contracts, but I thank you, sir, again for asking questions, for drawing out the information that was lacking previously. I'm having hope now for Public Works Commission. I hope you stick around because I'm liking what I'm seeing. And I'm against it because I understand that you're saying there's ways you could do this and ways you get to do that. But really at the end of the day, it's really hard to get rid of bad players, like the civil service that, once you're civil, you have that civil service qualification. It's really hard to undo that and to get rid of, or any kind of union thing. So we know just from history, that it's hard to do that. So my suggestion is just to keep it at 5. It doesn't hurt to, in 5 years, to redo it and make sure that they've done everything that they're supposed to do for the wonderful residents of this city. I don't see any valid reason to increase it. That's just my opinion. And, and I also want to encourage about, because you said in the other one where the veterans and the disabled, like they're really under the number where they're supposed to be. And I'm not saying that that's your fault. Maybe there's just not enough businesses in the mix, but I would really like to see a campaign for you guys to get that number up, especially
Thank
since
you.
they're.
Caller under Yvonne Best, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you. I too enjoy this format a little bit better. I would like to kind of hit a middle ground and say go ahead and extend it to a 10-year with provision of proper oversight, and people, even though they have a 10-year qualification, can lose that qualification if they're in violation. I also believe that a new firm that meets the qualifications in that 10-year cycle should be added for the remaining years of that cycle so that there are more opportunities for input in the projects, and competition is a good thing. I also want to conclude with 28 civil engineering firms to service the entire city of Los Angeles seems to be a horribly low number. I encourage the outreach and adding to that list, probably doubling it. Responding to an emergency with only 28 people on that list is not a feasible thing. So please consider the recruitment of additional people on that list as a priority. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes public comment.
Thank you. Thank you. Did you have something? Okay. Any other inquiries of Mr. Malhus? I see none. May I have a motion to accept item number 3? We have a motion by Commissioner Carson and a second by Commissioner Reyes to accept item number 3. And may we have a tally of vote?
Yes, we'll tabulate the vote to adopt item number 3, beginning with you, President Pro Tem Davis,
Davis, aye.
Commissioner Corsan.
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
All ayes, and the item is unanimously adopted and carries forthwith.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much,
very
Ms.
much.
Moss. Appreciate it.
Dr. Davis, I've been asked for us if we can, for the record, to repeat the motion on item number 2. It needs to read as amended, and that item was motion by Corsan and Reyes. If we can just read into the record again for item number 2, the request for authority to execute the letter of agreement between City of Los Angeles and the County Metropolitan Transportation Authority as amended. If I can get Commissioner Corsan and Reyes to motion that again, please.
So moved.
I'll tabulate the vote to adopt item number 2 as amended, beginning with you, President Pro Tem Davis,
Davis, aye.
Commissioner Corsan,
Aye.
and Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
All ayes, and the item is adopted and unanimously approved and carries forthwith. Thank you.
Yes, good morning. Yes, sir, good morning. Good morning, President Pro Tem Davis,
Thank you.
commissioners and bureau representatives. My name is Gerardo Hernandez, superintendent with Streets LA, division of Streets LA. This information is being provided to keep the public informed on upcoming resurfacing projects and to minimize the impact on the community as well as delays. For additional information or concerns, you can contact our coordinating section for the Street Renewal Division at area code 213-847-3200. There are no major projects scheduled in the metro or valley regions during the week of August 18th, 2024 through August 24th, 2024. However, we will provide an update on our 24-25 pavement preservation program. During the week of August 18th, 2024 through August 24th, 2024, the Metro and Valley regions will complete 10 projects resulting in 15.16 lane miles. The press releases were distributed and notifications have been issued. Streets LA coordinated with the council offices to assist with outreach to stakeholders. We have coordinated with the Los Angeles Department of Transportation for traffic control assistance. This information is available on the Streets LA website using the resurfacing open projects icon. And this concludes my report.
Great. Thank you so very much for your report. I appreciate it. Thank you, Superintendent.
Okay.
Have we,
We do have public comment on this one.
okay, thank you.
Audit LA, you have 2 minutes.
Yes, I just want to thank you for making the report. I have nothing to say for or against, but I just want to reiterate, I appreciate you reading the agenda items first, followed by the speaker, followed by public comment. I really hope that this is going to be a new era where this will go on, because it does help answer, like when I hear him, and any of your speakers, it helps answer the questions we have. So why waste our 2 minutes, why, on something that we don't need to ask? Because all we needed to do was just hear it from the people. So it's just an encouragement. Thank you, sir, for your, for the presentation, but thank you, sir, for doing it differently today. I have hope. I feel like you're genuinely trying to connect with the public today, and that's a good feeling, because I'll be honest with you, it's felt really horrible for the past month. And I also want to thank Ms. Cole for having been very interactive and helpful, with responding to emails and helping me try to figure out who's who. And I'm also still requesting, it is relevant to this agenda item, that you please let us know when there is a new disability coordinator for the city. It's really important, because a lot of what I'm going to be bringing up and other people are bringing up are ADA issues. It's a real serious issue. And I also thank you for the different tone, that you're not just cutting off speakers at every turn before hearing them out. So I really hope you say, sir, I at this point, I'm really pleased with this, with how things are turning around. And I thank you. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Cole, did we have all of the
We
speakers?
have Mona,
Oh, I
if
see.
you're still on the line.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that I had my hand up still. I don't have public comment. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Does that conclude?
That concludes it.
Superintendent Hernandez, thank you so very much for the update. We appreciate that. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Cole, have we covered all the items on today's agenda?
Yes, we have. That concludes our agenda for today.
Okay. The next scheduled regular meeting will be on Wednesday, August the 21st, 2024, and today's meeting is now adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And President Pro Tem Davis, will we have a management meeting?
We will not have a management meeting.
Thank you.